morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Megan. I'm Aunt Becky.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Petey. I'm Tracy.
I'm Pop-Pop.
I'm Kelly.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Hey, welcome back everyone, it's so nice to see you. Currently we are out in the cucumber field. We're working on doing some harvesting. We've had a pretty busy morning. We've got the farm market all set up at home. We've also got the animals all taken care of. Chores are done, which brings us out into the field because we've got plenty of picking to do today and we wanted to get right into it. Right now we are harvesting our cucumbers. Well, I should say our pickling / regular cucumber hybrid plants. It's still funny to me that we're dealing with a problem that dates all the way back to when these were seeded. But it is what it is, and harvest has been nice, so that's the plus. For the past few weeks, while we've been harvesting these cucumbers, we've been carrying 2 baskets along with us, and we've been putting the pickling cucumbers into one basket and the regular cucumbers into another basket. But today we decided to do something a little different. We're putting everything into one basket and then we're gonna sort it out at home. Does it seem like extra work? You'd think so, but we have to wash all this stuff anyway, so if we're running it through the washer, we can just sort it after it comes out of the washer, which we all thought was a really good idea, and you guys can thank Daniel for that really good idea. Oh, the people fell. But anyway, we've got a lot of picking to do today, so we're gonna jump right back into it. As I'm picking, one thing I am noticing is that we are getting much less cucumbers than we had the last few other harvests. Normally I would be pretty concerned about this, but we have a good idea as to why these cucumbers slowed down. And that reason is temperature. Now during the days, our highs have been in the 70s and creeping into the 80s. However, at nighttime, our temperatures have been dipping pretty low. Our temperatures have been dropping down into the 50s, which if you don't know, plants don't like it too cold at night. Now, there's nothing wrong with it being that cool. The plants still survive and we're getting beautiful cucumbers. The only problem is they grow a lot slower. Now, with that information, it makes us feel a little more comfortable when we go through and pick and we get less cucumbers, because if we didn't understand the reason, well, as you could imagine, we would be really concerned. But this is to be expected. The temperatures are going to get a little bit warmer in the upcoming weeks, but as we get later on into the year, this is something that we're going to deal with. So when you see us picking all of these different types of cucumbers and pickling cucumbers, you may wonder why we plant so much, and the easiest answer is because we sell that much. Another reason why is because as it gets later on into the crop's lifetime, they start to slow down. Just like old Pop-Pop down there. He won't tell you, but he's starting to slow down. But that's a good thing because he needs to slow down. He works hard. He's slowing down, he's still working as hard as us, but you guys see that in the videos. The thing to keep in mind is that it's okay if your plants start slowing down, because there's nothing we can really do about this. We can't control the weather. We're still getting really nice stuff. Plants are still relatively healthy, so everything's positive. It's just we're fighting the weather, but that's okay, because if we continue to get cucumbers like this, even if we harvest less, I'll be okay with it. You know what, one quick thing I want to mention. I got a question in one of the recent videos. They said, why is it such a big deal that the pickling cucumbers and the regular cucumbers are planted in the same row? And the real answer is, it's not that big of a deal. You know, we can just go through and pick them. But then I saw some other questions asking what's the difference between a regular cucumber and a pickling cucumber. The number one thing right off the bat I will say is size. Pickling cucumbers are a lot smaller. They also have like a stouter frame to them. Here I have a pickling cucumber and a regular cucumber. Easy to see the size difference. You can see these are kind of stockier, but that's okay. Again, those are two things that we want. Now the biggest difference is the moisture content in the pickling cucumber. There's less moisture, which means that this pickling cucumber can absorb more brine. So when you're pickling it, that's why it's more popular, or maybe they taste better to use a pickling cucumber as opposed to a regular cucumber. Now you can use this for pickling, but it's recommended to use a pickling cucumber or a Kirby cucumber because they're smaller, they're stouter, the skin is a little bit thinner, and they have a lower moisture content in them. That lower moisture content is gonna allow this thing to soak up more brine and have a sharper, delicious flavor. I know you probably weren't expecting all that information this morning, but I was sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, this is something the people need to know. Why do we raise two different varieties? Why do we want them separate? Well, there you go. He just left us. There goes Dad. He's just gone. We just got a call. A shipment came back at the farm and Dad needs to unload it with the forklift. So he is running back to do that. And it was perfect timing because we just got finished with the pickling cucumbers and the regular cucumbers. So we're ready to get all loaded up.
Come here, Andrew, come here.
I'm coming. What do you got to show me?
There's a pumpkin.
Whoa. Check that out. What else do we got in here?
Andrew, there's more pumpkins.
Oh, more pumpkins.
Andrew.
Yeah.
There's Hubbard.
Oh, look at that. Big old orange Hubbards in there. Beautiful. Right below where we've been harvesting all of our cucumbers, pickling cucumbers and zucchini, is our field of pumpkins. And the pumpkins have been looking pretty good this year. They're getting some really nice size on them. We've seen some starting to turn orange, as you just saw. It's not time to pick them just yet. Believe me, we're not trying to rush summer. But when the people want pumpkins, that's when we're gonna start picking. So when they start asking for them, that's when they need to go. Not that we're trying to rush summer, right, Daniel?
What?
We're not trying to rush summer.
But if winter comes faster, then I get to cut corn.
Oh, Daniel, no. Holy moly. Look at that big boy. Yeah, you just got to turn orange. We just went through with the wagon and got all the produce picked up, so we are now on our way home. I know it looks good, little moo cows, but it's not for you. Now that we've got everything home, we're gonna be running this through the washer, and then we're gonna be sorting it. Because we put all the cucumbers and pickling cucumbers into one basket, it's gonna take a little bit longer than normal, but this saved us more time while we were out in the field. Now we've talked about why we like to run the cucumbers and other vegetables through the washer. One, it cleans them up real nice, but probably the biggest reason that we don't talk about too much is that it brings the core temperature of the produce down, the vegetable. And what that does is it allows it to stay fresher longer and allows it to store if we needed to, which this time of the year, we're not really storing vegetables for that long, but if we had to, cooling them off certainly does help. Once we got finished washing all those cucumbers and pickling cucumbers, we moved them all into the cooler. Dad and I are getting a small tomato order together, and then we're gonna be hopping in the tractor because we need to go out to the field and get some fresh sweet corn. Daniel is already on his way back there. We've got a special guest with us for picking today. You guys are gonna love this. Uh-oh, what's going on in here? Uh-oh. Yeah, we got Sadie with us picking today. Woohoo! Oh, this is so cute. I remember having to do this with Lauren. Daniel is up there teaching Sadie how to work all the controls, and this, oh, such good memories. Such good memories. Do you remember when you had to teach Mom how to drive the tractors?
Yeah, long time ago.
Long time ago. She still knows how. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn, you never forget. She's up there.
Every year I find it's fat on you.
This one's fine.
This one's fine.
Okay.
Might just be the edge.
A little tough. So we made a little change of plans. We actually moved to a completely different farm to harvest our sweet corn. The corn that we were dealing with, it was a little too hard. for just selling fresh sweet corn. It'd be perfectly fine for canning, but that's not what a bulk of the people buying this is gonna use it for. So this sweet corn, it's on the younger side, it's more tender. That's what our customers are gonna be looking for. Now, if someone is specifically looking for canning corn, we know we can go grab that. Whether they're freezing it, canning it, whatever the case, that other corn is perfect. This corn though, this is younger, more tender, and this is what the average customer is gonna want today. So that's why we made the big decision to move to this section of field or this farm. And this corn is pretty tall, so this is gonna be a lot easier to pick. But rather than me just telling you this corn is gonna look nice, let's pull an ear off and see for ourselves. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for. Beautiful. As we all know, looking good is half the battle. How does it taste? That's good corn, nice and sweet. Yeah, Dad, I think the customers are gonna love this stuff. Something ain't the tops of the ears off here. Uh-oh. And there we have it. We got our bin of corn completely filled. Sadie did an excellent job driving. We didn't get run over at all. Isn't that wonderful? So Daniel's gonna be taking this corn back. That looks beautiful. And what are we seeing down here? Is it still looking really nice?
I think it's nicer as we go down.
Oh, that's what we like to hear. That means there's a lot of sweet corn picking in our near future.
Andrew,
Yeah, what's up?
come down here.
All right, I'm coming. Hey, Pop, where is here?
Here.
Here? Okay, I see you. This is getting thick down here. Woo-hoo-hoo. Wow. Look at the ears on this corn. This is Montauk, one of our favorite varieties to raise. You just saw us picking a variety called Allure, which I like. Allure's a good variety, but Montauk's one of our favorite. Look at that ear. That's a fat ear. We raise 3 main varieties of corn here on the farm. If you've ever heard of the variety Providence, we raise a variety similar to that. We also raise Allure, which is what we were just picking, and then Montauk. Now, every time we plant corn, we will cycle through those varieties so that we can extend our harvest as long as possible. The interesting thing is, all of those varieties of corn don't mature at the same exact date. So depending on the weather, those days can vary a lot. But considering the circumstances we have this year, we're able to harvest an entire patch of sweet corn without having to worry about anything over ripening. By cycling through those varieties, we get beautiful, tasty corn that we can harvest for an extended time. I think that's something that not many people recognize about the type of farming that we do. There's a lot of thinking and a lot of planning that goes into it. Not just with the harvesting, but with the planning. Oh my word. Look at that corn. That's some beautiful corn. For lunch today, we are having some hamburger barbecue, and we have got some beef and vegetable stew. You're gonna have to have a little bit of both. I'll tell you what, it is absolutely beautiful out here today. Once we got finished off with lunch though, we made our way back out to the fields because we needed to grab some beans. Yes, it's that special time of the year again. We've got the pull picks out of the barn. We've got it all ready to go, and we are now harvesting beans. This turns one of our least favorite jobs into one of our favorite jobs, because if we had to hand pick all these beans, oh, you would hear some complaining, that's for sure. Oh, they're a little young. Now you just saw how this machine works. It's not too complicated. Dad's main goal is to get the beans guided right into this little housing unit. Now inside that housing unit, there's a bunch of little fingers that strip everything off the plants. Leaves, beans, whatever the case, those little fingers are gonna strip it off. It then follows a system of conveyors into our fan housing, and as that fan blows, it's pulling out all the smaller unripe beans. It's also pulling out all the debris and shooting it out the other side. The beans that are ripe, or the beans that are too heavy to be shot out, then follow the conveyors along and drop down right into our baskets. It is an amazing tool. Now, you can only harvest one time with this type of equipment, but these beans that we raise put on a heavy amount of their produce at one time, and that allows us to have a clean and kind of complete harvest. Now, we could come back through and harvest again if it was hand picking, but this allows us to do it so much quicker, and it allows us to sell so many more beans. We are now home. I am in the cooler. We got all the beans picked. We brought them back to the farm. Everything has been moved in the cooler. We're just taking a little break, helping out in the farm market, and then we're gonna be heading back out to the fields. It's been really, really busy, which is always a good thing, especially when we have fresh produce. If we can move fresh produce to the customers as fast as possible, that's nice. You should see how the customers react when you bring in sweet corn, tomatoes, pickling cucumber, anything fresh, they wanna buy it right there on the spot. I mean, that's kind of the whole part of this job, just trying to keep everything as fresh as possible. But seeing the look on some of these customers' faces, oh, it just makes it so much better. Oh, look at that butterfly. Woo. That butterfly was probably really confused while I was following it, but I promise you, I was not following the butterfly. If Callie was here, then I might be following the butterfly, but today I was not. As you can see, we are back out in the fields again. We were throwing around some ideas of what we wanted to get picked. Some people were saying tomatoes, some were saying peppers, and we just decided to do both. To get started off though, I am gonna be grabbing some bell peppers, and I don't think this is gonna be hard to find them because these plants are loaded. Ah, man, see, this is the worst. Look at that, beautiful pepper with a little bit of sun scald on it. I'm gonna put it in the basket. Normally we wouldn't keep something like this, but I'll just eat it later. Wow, that's a big one. Now, for those that are curious about the peppers themselves, these are a bell pepper variety. They start off as green, but then they mature to a deep red color. Now, some people were asking, why are we picking them before they're turning green? And the easiest answer I can give you is that our customers want them this way. They have a really, really good flavor. Now, as the bell peppers mature and ripen up, they will turn that deep red color and they get sweeter. But as of right now, these peppers still have a wonderful taste. For the most part, we do get many people that want the red bell peppers, but for the area where we live, that's usually a later in the season thing. As of right now, people are still looking for green bell, which is what we've got here. So perfectly, we're gonna be able to get everything that we needed picked. Look at that, gorgeous. Here's one that's turning a little bit. Look at that, nice, beautiful reddish brown color on there. That will turn to a dark red if I had left it on there, but I wanted to take it like that. I'm no longer by myself out here. Daniel, Petey, and my dad are helping with picking. We're working on the bell peppers as we speak, and we also grabbed a few lunchbox peppers. Look at those. These are gonna turn to these nice orange color, and they are so sweet. Look at this, we're getting this blossom and rot. That's not good. Not finding it on too many peppers, but I'm finding it on a few. And if you're finding it on a few, that's too many. One of my favorite things about harvesting bell peppers is the sound that you hear when we pick them. But another thing is, when we find big peppers like these, oh, that's the best part. That is the best part. Wow, look at these 3 bell peppers. Those are big ones. Oh, that's rotten. Oh, gross. You know what we do with these? Petey, catch! No, I'm kidding. This is what we've got picked here on the wagon. We have some sweet banana Cubanelle, we have some lunchbox peppers, and we have bell peppers. And Dad really quickly wanted me to bring you over here to show you that we have got plenty of peppers to pick. Just look at some of these plants. Look at this one, it's fallen over. Look at all the peppers on there. We've got a lot of picking to do. And it's not just these couple plants. If you look down through the rows, you can just see the peppers there. That's what we want, that's what we like to see, and that's what we're gonna take care of soon. What's up, Petey? How you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. What do you think of Petey's haircut? Oh, looking good. Well, look where we are, out in the tomato field. We need to get some tomatoes picked, and I'm gonna get started working on the plum. Now, what I'm looking for today when it comes to plum tomatoes is anything starting to change color. So you see, we have this beautiful pink here. We'll take that, we'll take this one here. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna take them home and then sort them. See, as soon as these tomatoes start turning color, they are considered vine ripened tomatoes. So what we're gonna do is pull them off. They will continue to ripen up, and then we'll be able to make sure that they get sorted out and sold. So whatever type people want, if they want them a little on the younger side, if they don't want them as mature, we're gonna be able to provide that. And what this is gonna help us to do is by picking them like this, is we will not have to worry about them spoiling on us. We'll be able to get them all picked, sorted out, and then that'll be much less headaches on us. It'll be a little more work because we're gonna have to handle them an extra time, but we prefer to do that rather than lose them, that's for sure. Now it's still early, which is really why we're doing this. As we get later on into the year, when the tomatoes really start to ripen up in clumps, we won't have to pick like this. But for now, this is what we're gonna be doing. Tomatoes are under the plant. I gotta break them out. Check it out, everybody. My first basket of plum tomatoes for the year is filled. When we just start harvesting tomatoes for the first time in the year, what we end up doing is jumping around from clump to clump of ripened tomatoes. Now there's a reason why we do this. One reason is we're just looking for ripe tomatoes. If we were trying to scour the entire field and move all the plants, it would take a long time. But here in the beginning, anywhere you see red or you see tomatoes turning, that's a good sign to start looking for other tomatoes. What's interesting is tomatoes will start putting off a natural gas called ethylene, and that's basically telling all the other tomatoes to ripen as well. So that's why tomatoes will usually ripen up in clumps, and this time of the year, it's the easiest way for us to find them. So when you start seeing a few ripe tomatoes, you know that all around it, there are gonna be other tomatoes that are ripening. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful sight. Come on, get out of there. Gotcha. And there we have it, a beautiful wagon full of tomatoes and peppers. Now this is just a small sample of what's to come. We're gonna be filling wagons upon wagons of produce, but this does make me feel really good to see us start harvesting tomatoes. Whoo, the time is coming for lots and lots of tomatoes. Now that we're all finished, we're gonna take all this produce home, get it washed and sorted. Now that we're home, it's kind of the same deal as before. We're running the tomatoes through the washer, but we're going really, really slow. We want to make sure they get cleaned up, and we don't want to bruise them. We just got everything ran through the washer. We got a few boxes of bell peppers boxed up for an order. And yeah, I think that is a successful harvest right there. When it comes to the tomatoes, everything that was on the younger side, we're gonna leave down here. These tomatoes are gonna continue putting off ethylene, and this will help them to ripen, especially since they're all here together. So hopefully all these lighter tomatoes that we picked will continue to ripen up, and probably within 2 or 3 days, they'll be ready to sell. It is closing time here on the farm. We are working on putting the last few pallets of produce into the cooler, and then we will be all ready to close up shop. It's been a long day. I'm tired, but we got a lot accomplished today, and I'm ready for dinner. Oh, we're at Mimi and Pop-Pop's house, laying on the ground. 2 little babies, Ronnie and Lily. As you can see, we are at the farm. The whole family is here. We're getting to eat some amazing dinner that Tracy made for us. But yeah, since we're all here, that means this is where we're ending the video today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.